Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we have another college football imperialism. We're taking the top 25 teams and we're going to see who can win this imperialism map. But there is a massive twist. We are going to be implementing a redemption island. So when a team gets beat, they're not out of it completely. Let me explain real quick how the redemption island is going to work. So let's say over in California, UCLA takes on USC. And let's just say USC wins. So USC would take over UCLA's land, and then UCLA would go down into the redemption island. In the bottom left, that square is going to be our redemption island. And once there's 5 teams in that redemption island, for example, if the first 5 teams that are eliminated are these 5 teams, we will throw them all on a wheel and we will spin it to see who gets to come back onto the map for another chance. So once 5 teams are eliminated, they get put on a wheel, we'll spin it, and it would look like Ohio State if they were eliminated and they were in with those 5 teams. They would be on their way back into the imperialism. So it puts a little twist. Once you're out, you're not officially out, but then you got to get lucky on the wheel and you'll come back and have a chance. So hopefully we can see some action on some teams that come back in, and hopefully they can go on a run. Let's get this thing started. This is what the starting map is looking like. We have all 25 of the top 25 final standings from the AP pool on ESPN.com. So let's hop into this thing. Let's see who's going to be battling. The team that is attacking will be the OA team because they are going to try to take over somebody's land. So let's hop into first spin and let's see who will be attacking who. All right, here we go on to another imperialism map. It looks like it will be Tennessee heading to their north. The state to the north of Tennessee was open, so we'll give them that state and we will spin again and see who will be taking on who. All right, here we go. We're spinning again since Tennessee landed on an empty state, and it looks like it's going to be LSU heading to their southwest. Dang, this one is tough. Their southwest, it looks like it could be either Tulane or Texas, but we're going to go from their logo, and it looks like it's pointing at Texas. So LSU will be heading to Texas in our first matchup. Here we go. First game of this imperialism redemption island video. Let's see who's going to come out on top, LSU or Texas. This is a big time matchup. Texas is coming out hot. They're up 2 touchdowns at the half. Can LSU come back on the road, or is Texas going to defend their home turf? Texas only built their lead even more in the second half, as they're going to dominate this whole entire game, 35-14, and they're going to take LSU's land and send them off to Redemption Island. It's not over for LSU, but they're going to have to get lucky. Once the next 4 teams lose, they're going to have to win that wheel, but they're still technically not out of it. All right, we got our first team sent to Redemption Island. Who's going to be playing next? It looks like it's going to be UCLA heading to their north. I am going from the middle of their logos, so it does look like UCLA to their north, and a little bit to the east is going to be Nevada. So we're going to give them that state, and we will spin again. All right, here we go. We gave UCLA Nevada. Let's see who it's going to be. It's going to be Penn State heading directly west, which I do believe is Pitt. Let's go make sure. Yes, indeed, it is going to be Pitt. With all that land around them, they headed straight west into Pitt. They got so unlucky, but let's see what's going to happen. It is tied up 13-13 at the half. Let's see who's going to take over in the second half and win this thing. With 20 seconds left, the time ticking down, Penn State is down 7 inside the Pitt 5-yard line. They need a touchdown here to tie it up and send it to overtime, and that's exactly what they're going to get. This one is headed to overtime. Pitt scored a field goal on their drive. Penn State has a 3rd and 8. If they can score a touchdown, they will win this thing. He's throwing off his back foot across the field, and he's going to take it in for the touchdown. What an insane play by Sean Clifford, and Penn State gets the dub on the road and sends Pitt to Redemption Island. All right, Penn State gained some land. Pitt got sent to Redemption Island. Who's going to be next? It looks like Clemson will be heading west. And it's looking like west of Clemson's logo is going to be the top of Georgia. So Clemson will be heading to Georgia for this matchup. A very low scoring first half as Georgia has 9 points and Clemson has yet to score a point. Let's see if Clemson can come back or Georgia is going to continue to dominate on the defensive side of the ball. Clemson has managed to come back and take the lead with 44 seconds left, but Stetson Bennett's got Georgia at the 1 yard line looking to score first and goal, and that's exactly what he's going to do as he hits Brock Bowers in the end zone for the 4-point lead. Clemson's going to need to do something with 40 seconds left. It all comes down to this. Clemson, one more shot for the end zone. If they can't get it, they're off to Redemption Island. But if they do get it, they're going to send Georgia there. Throwing it to the end zone. It's overthrown. They had a chance to catch it off the tip, but they didn't. And Georgia will hang on at home. Clemson off to Redemption Island. It's not over for them yet, but it's not looking good. All right, Georgia pulled it off in a close one. Who's going to be up next? It looks like it's going to be Notre Dame heading to their north and a little bit west. This is an interesting one. As you can see, Notre Dame is right here. To their north and a little bit west is like right here, which is Lake Michigan, I do believe. But we're going to say it barely hits right here on Michigan. So Notre Dame will be traveling to the Big House to take on Michigan. It's a low-scoring bout in the Big House. Michigan leads 7-3 over Notre Dame at the half. We are in overtime. And Michigan on their first drive has managed to put themselves in a terrible position. 4th and 25. And they're not going to get it, it doesn't look like. So Notre Dame, all they need is a field goal to win this game. 1st and 15 on the 15 for Notre Dame after they had a false start on first down. All they need is a field goal, so they don't want to force anything, but they're dropping back to pass, seeing if they got an open guy, and that's exactly what they find in the end zone. Notre Dame wins in the Big House, and they're going to be taking Michigan's land and sending them to Redemption Island. All right, who's going to be playing in this next one? And the loser of this next game will be heading to Redemption Island, and we'll have our first redemption spin. It looks like Penn State will be heading south. Let's see who they're going to be taking on. There is no team to Penn State south, so we just gave them Maryland, and we'll spin again. All right, who's it going to be? Penn State dodged a bullet, not having to play a game. It looks like it's going to be South Carolina heading to their southeast. The closest thing to their south and a little bit east is going to be right here in Georgia. So South Carolina will be heading to Georgia, and they're going to be our first team to play 2 games. Can they send 2 people to Redemption Island? Let's find out. At the half, South Carolina actually leads Georgia by 7, 14-7. Can they hold on in the second half, or is Georgia going to come back? What an insane upset. South Carolina goes into Georgia and beats them. The only way that Georgia can win this thing now is if they win this Redemption Island spin and come back and don't lose again. All right, here we are for the first Wheel of Redemption spin. These 5 teams are the teams that lost our first 5 matchups. I'm going to spin this wheel, and the team that it lands on will be back, and I'll put them in an empty state closest to where they started. So here we go. The winner of this spin will be coming back, and it looks like it is going to be Georgia. They just lost, and now they're getting a brand new chance to come back in and dominate, because they have a great chance at winning at all times. Georgia's back. Let's see where they're going. All right, here's what the map's looking like. Georgia is back, and it's like they never left. But the other teams are gone from Redemption Island, and now the next 5 losers will be in there, and we'll spin it again to see who will be granted a second chance. So let's hop into another wheel spin and see who's going to be playing. Georgia has been added back onto the big wheel. Let's see who's going to be playing. It looks like it's going to be UCLA heading to their south and a little bit east. The state closest to their southeast was empty, so we just gave it to them. Now UCLA owns a humongous chunk of land on that west coast. We spin again. UCLA dodged a bullet not having to play a game, but it looks like it's going to be Texas heading to their southwest. Let's see who it's going to be. There is literally nobody to their south, so they're gonna dodge a bullet. Let's spin again. Here we go. Third spin of this turn. Let's see who it's gonna be. It looks like it's going to be Troy heading to their south, and that looks like it is going to hit the top part of Florida, so they'll be taking on Florida State. Another low-scoring game as Florida State is up 10-6 at the half. Troy has yet to score a touchdown. Let's see if they can in the second half and maybe even come back. Troy fought to try to come back, but Florida State was just too much on their home field. So Troy will be heading to Redemption Island, and once we get 4 more losers, they might have a chance to come back. You never know, but Florida State picks up their land for now. All right, who is going to have a chance at adding land this time? It looks like it's going to be Utah heading to their north. I'm not even sure if there's a state surrounding them that has a team in it. The state to their north is Idaho, and nobody was in that state, so we gave it to them, and we'll spin again. Let's see who that spin is going to be. It looks like it's going to be TCU heading to their west. Once again, there is no state there, so we're going to give TCU the state next to them, and we'll spin again. All right, let's see if we can finally get a matchup. It looks like it's going to be Tennessee heading to their northwest. And it looks like that team is going to be Notre Dame. So Tennessee will be playing their first game at Notre Dame. Notre Dame comes out hot. They're already up 2 touchdowns heading into the half. Tennessee has yet to score. Tennessee did end up scoring that touchdown. And now we are in the second overtime. And Notre Dame has a 4th and 3 with the game on the line. They need to pick this up, and they need to go on to score a touchdown this drive. And Drew Pine makes a terrible throw, and Notre Dame will lose and head to Redemption Island. Tennessee picks up all their land, and now they own a huge piece of land. That is a massive win for Tennessee. Who's going to be playing next? It looks like it's going to be Georgia playing once again, heading to their north. Let's see who it's going to be. There is no team to their north, so we just gave them Virginia, and we will spin again. Let's see who it's going to be. Let's see if we can get somebody who hasn't played yet. It doesn't look like it. South Carolina, I'm pretty sure nobody's to their east. I think that's the ocean. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can get a matchup this time. It looks like it's going to be Penn State heading north. I'm pretty sure it's just empty states, so let's go give it to them and spin again. All right, another spin. Let's get a matchup here. Mississippi heading to their southwest. This should be a team. To their southwest is going to be the bottom of Louisiana, and that is going to be Tulane. Tulane is trying to defend their home turf as they lead 10-0 at the half. Mississippi State's got to pick it up on the offensive end. Let's see what they can do. Mississippi State tried to make a comeback, but it looks like they're going to come up just short, losing 20-14, and Tulane defends their home turf and sends Mississippi State to Redemption Island. There's 2 more spots open on the Redemption Island. Let's see who's going to be headed there next. It looks like Alabama will be playing the team to their north, and that team to their north is Tennessee, a big rivalry. Let's see who's going to come out on top. Crazy offensive start to this game. Alabama has that 8-point lead heading into the half over Tennessee on their home field. Let's see what happens in the second half. Alabama came out in the second half and completely dominated Tennessee, 49-20 on their home field. Nothing like what happened in real life, but Alabama will be taking all of Tennessee's land, and Tennessee will be heading to Redemption Island. All right, after Alabama completely dominated Tennessee, let's see who's going to be playing next. And it looks like it's going to be UCLA heading to their southeast. UCLA can't run or hide now. They will be taking on TCU for that massive piece of land. Whoever wins this game will own the biggest piece of land in all of this college football imperialism. And after this game, we will have our second spin on the redemption wheel and see who's coming back. It's not looking good for UCLA through the first half. They're down 15, but there's still a whole second half of football. They could bring it back. Let's see what happens. What an insane comeback by UCLA. They are going to end up winning this thing 35-28. They scored 29 points in the second half to win this game. After that loss by TCU, they are the fifth and final team on Redemption Island, along with Mississippi State, Tennessee, Notre Dame, and Troy. So we'll put them on the wheel and spin it and see who's on their way back. All right, here we go. We got all 5 of the teams on the wheel. Who will be coming back? And it looks like it's going to be Notre Dame will be coming back. And they still are alive with a chance to win this thing. All right, Notre Dame is back on the wheel. Let's see who's going to be playing. It's going to be Oregon State heading south. And straight south for Oregon State is going to be none other than UCLA. They will have to play again. And the winner of this one will have a massive piece of land. Oregon State up 17-7.5. They're coming out hot in their first game. They're trying to pick up all of that land. Let's see what happens in the second half. What a game by Oregon State's defense. They held UCLA to only 13 points the whole entire game, and they're going to pick up the dub and pick up the most land in all of the U.S. and send UCLA to Redemption Island. All right, let's see who the next team playing is going to be. It looks like it's going to be Utah heading to the west. It looks like Oregon State is going to have to play again because Utah is going to be attacking them. Another tight game as Utah only has a 4-point lead on the road at Oregon State. Let's see what happens in the second half. Not much happened in the second half. Both teams picked up a touchdown and Oregon State picked up a field goal, but it's not going to be enough as Utah is going to win by 9. Oregon State has one last play to make it within a score, but it doesn't matter as Utah is going to pick up all of that land, and now they own the most land in the whole U.S., and Oregon State's off to Redemption Island. All right, let's see who's going to be up next. It looks like it's going to be Ohio State. Are they going to be playing their first game? They're heading to their northeast, and that team to their northeast is going to be Penn State. A Big Ten matchup. Ohio State has a 2-touchdown lead on the road at the half. Let's see what is going to happen in the second half. Ohio State continued to dominate in the second half, and they ended up winning 31-13, and they're going to take all of Penn State's land and send them to Redemption Island. 2 more teams onto Redemption Island, and we will have another spin. All right, who's going to be up next on the wheel? And it's going to look like it's going to be South Carolina heading to their southwest. Let's see who they're going to be playing. It looks like they are going to be taking on Florida State for all of the southeast part of the United States. South Carolina leads by only 1 at half, 7-6. This game's coming down to an onside kick. South Carolina needs to recover it, or this one's going to be over. And it looks like Florida State, after bobbling about 4 or 5 times, is going to pick it up, and they're going to win 21-14 and pick up South Carolina's land and send them to Redemption Island. We've still got a bunch of teams that have yet to play. Let's see if we can get one, and we're going to Texas heading to their southeast. There is no team directly to their southeast, but there is a team to their east, so Tulane will be taking on Texas in their first matchup. Texas up 2 scores, both teams battling, not trying to be the last team on to Redemption Island. Let's see who's going to pull it out in the second half. Tulane didn't even score a single point against Texas as they win 17-0, and Tulane will be joining the other 4 teams on Redemption Island, and we will have a redemption spin. All right, we've got our 5 teams. who is going to be on their way back. And it looks like it is going to be Tulane. Right after they just lost, they're right back in it. The other 4 teams are officially eliminated, and they have no chance to win, but Tulane is back. Alright, you can see Tulane is back on the wheel. Who's going to be playing? It's Ohio State heading west. That team to Ohio State's west is none other than Alabama. This should be a great matchup. A back and forth first half. Touchdown Alabama, touchdown Ohio State, touchdown Alabama, touchdown Ohio State. They're going back and forth. This should be a close ending. It's 17-14 at the half. 14 seconds left. The clock is ticking for Ohio State. They are down 6. It looks like they're going to have one chance to throw this ball deep and hope for the best. They're going to need a miracle. CJ Stroud drops back to pass. He's going to sling the rock, and it's going to fall incomplete. And Alabama is going to squeak through with the victory. And Ohio State is now headed to Redemption Island, and their fate relies on a wheel spin. Who is going to be next? Alabama is trying to take over. It looks like it's going to be Texas heading to their east. And that team to their east is going to be Florida State. The winner of this game is going to own almost all of southern United States. Florida State's up double digits at the half. Texas needs to find a way onto the scoreboard if they want any chance of coming back. Florida State completely dominated Texas on both sides of the ball, and they're going to get the dub 19-7, and Texas is off to Redemption Island while Florida State is thriving. Less and less teams on the wheel. Who is going to be playing now? It looks like USC. They finally get landed on. They're going to be playing their first game heading east. And that team to their east is Utah, who owns probably the biggest piece of land in this whole imperialism. Let's see who's going to come out on top in the Pac-12 championship rematch. USC is absolutely dominating Utah on their home turf. They're up 28-7 at the half. Utah's got to turn around in the second half, or they'll be headed to Redemption Island. Utah gave it a run. They really did, but they're going to fall short, losing 42-33. That was an explosive second half, but USC's going to come out on top, and Utah loses all of that land in just one game. Only 10 teams remain, and then there's 3 on Redemption Island. But it looks like after USC hasn't played for this whole video, they're playing back-to-back games, and they're heading east again. Let's see who they're going to be playing. There was no team in the state to their east, so we gave it to them, and we'll spin again. Let's see who it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be USC again, somehow, heading to their east. This time, there is actually a team to their east. It is going to be Kansas State taking on USC. USC leads once again at the half, but this time it's only by 7 over Kansas State. Let's see what happens in the second half. USC leads by 7 still. With 8 seconds left, Kansas State needs a miracle. They need 75 yards on 1 or 2 plays. So they're going to need a bunch of yards here, and they're just going to throw it up, and it's going to get picked off by the USC defensive back, and this one's all over. The loser of this next game will be on Redemption Island, and we will be spinning. Florida State will be playing in this next game, and they will be heading to their northeast, but way more east. They own a whole lot of land, but we're going off of where their logo is, and there's nobody to their east, so we'll spin again. All right, let's see who this spin is going to be. It looks like it's going to be Tulane heading to their northeast. To the northeast of Tulane, it looks like it hits that little bit that Alabama owns right there, so it's going to be Tulane versus Alabama. Tulane is hanging in there with Alabama at the half, only down 7 on the road. Maybe they can show up in the second half and come back and win this thing, but let's find out. Tulane did the exact opposite of that. They did not show up. I'm not even sure if they walked out of the locker room in the second half. They get blown out 27-3. They didn't even find the end zone. Alabama picks up their land, and now we will have a Redemption Island spin, including Tulane in it. All right, here we go. We got the wheel. 4 of these teams will be gone. But one lucky team will be put back in this game, and it's going to be Texas is back in it, and they still have a chance to win this whole thing. Texas has made their way back onto the wheel. Let's see if they're going to be playing, and it looks like they are going to be playing in their first game back. It could be an early exit for them. Once again, they're heading west, and that team to their west is going to be USC. This could be an early exit for them or a big come up for them. It's not looking great for Texas in their first game back. They're already down 21 on the road at the half. Let's see if they can bring it back in the second half, or they're headed back to the island. Texas has got it within a score, but they're kicking an onside kick. They got to get it and a touchdown within 28 seconds. But it looks like USC is going to pick up the onside kick, and they're going to escape with the dub, and Texas is headed back to Redemption Island. And just like that, Texas is back off of the wheel. Who's going to be up next? Oregon. They have yet to play. They're heading to the southwest of their logo. It looks like it's going down, and then it hits this little clip of USC. So Oregon's going to be taking on USC. USC is playing a bunch of games in this. Can they hold on, or are they going to get beat one of these times? USC is out here destroying teams once again. They're up 28-3 on Oregon in the first half. USC is a force to be reckoned with. Not much change in the second half as USC dominates Oregon 38-10 and picks up even more land and sends them off to Redemption Island. Fresno State and Washington are the only two teams that have yet to play, and it looks like they're going to escape again and not have to play. Once again, Alabama heading to their east and a little bit north. If we're going off where the logo is, which we've been doing the whole time, it looks like north and a little bit east is going to be this little tip of the Florida State piece. So whoever wins this is going to have so much land. Florida State and Alabama all knotted up at 7 at the half. This should be an interesting second half. Let's see who's going to come out on top. This has been a back and forth game the whole entire way through. And with 10 seconds left, Florida State has the ball on the Alabama 3-yard line. And if they score a touchdown or even kick a field goal right here, they should win this thing. It looks like with 6 seconds left, they're bringing the offense back out on the field. That doesn't make sense to me, but they're going to run it right up the middle. And it all makes sense now because they scored a touchdown. And they're going to beat Alabama, sending them to Redemption Island, and Florida State picks up so much land. We are down to just 6 teams, Washington being the only team that has yet to play, but it's going to be Notre Dame heading to their southeast. And that team to their southeast is going to be the team that just defeated Alabama, Florida State. It's not looking too good for Notre Dame at the half. They're already down 17 points. Let's see if they can come back or if it's going to be more of the same. More of the same in the second half as Florida State wins 24-7, and Notre Dame is headed back to Redemption Island, where they will be joining the other 3 teams and the team who loses the next game. Less and less teams on the wheel by the second. Who's going to be playing? Washington heading to their northeast? I don't think that's anybody. Let's see. If we are going off of the middle of their logo like we've been, northeast hits this little tiny piece of Idaho. So Washington will be playing against USC for all of this land. USC once again building up a lead at the half. They're already up 11 on Washington. Let's see if they can come back or USC is going to continue to dominate. Washington's got the ball, 15 seconds. Time is ticking. They're down a touchdown, but they have the ball on the USC 17-yard line. It looks like they're running the clock down, and they'll have one last play for the end zone to tie this thing up. Michael Penix drops back. He gets sacked, and the ball game is over, and USC escapes the comeback, and Washington will be a part of this final Redemption Island spin right here. One of these 5 teams will be coming back. Who is it gonna be? It looks like it's gonna be Oregon, they will be coming back after they lost their first and only game. The rest of the 4 are gone forever. There is only 5 teams remaining with Oregon back on the wheel. And that means there is no longer a redemption island. So if you lose from here on out, you are done for this college football imperialism. So let's spin the wheel and let's see who's going to be playing and see who's going to lose. USC heading to their west. There is actually a team to their northwest, and it's going to be the only team that has yet to play. They've been running and they've been hiding for a while now, but they can't anymore. Fresno State will be playing up against USC. Uh-oh, it's not looking good for USC at the half. They're down 10 to Fresno State. Is USC's run going to come to an end after all these wins and Fresno State just sitting there, not playing a single game? Let's find out in the second half. USC, what a comeback. They now lead by 3, and Fresno State has a 4th and 8 for the game. They run a halfback screen, and USC is going to get the stop. And Fresno State is likely going to lose after having a 10-point lead at half. Fresno State had a chance to win that game, but only 4 teams remain, and it looks like it's going to be Georgia heading east. There is nobody to Georgia's east, so we will be spinning again, and it's going to be Georgia heading north. And there is a team to Georgia's north. Straight up from their logo is a piece of Florida State. So Georgia will be heading to Florida State. Florida State is in a very bad position here, down 13 at the half. Is this going to be the end of Florida State's run, or are they going to come back like USC did and beat Georgia, who came back from Redemption Island and has just been sitting there for a while? Florida State had a good run, but Georgia is back and they're trying to win this whole thing. They win 41-7 and completely dominate Florida State. And Florida State's gone forever. And Georgia picks up a massive, massive piece of land. And now there's only 3 teams left. Only 3 teams remain. Who is going to be playing? There is no team to Georgia's east, so we will spin once again. Let's see who it's going to be. Only 3 teams remaining. USC heading to their northeast. I believe that is going to be Oregon. Let's go check it out. It indeed does look like northeast of USC is Oregon up there in their brand new state. So the winner of USC at Oregon will be taking on Georgia in this college football imperialism finale. Oregon is once again down big at the half to USC, 13-3. They've yet to find the end zone. Let's see if they can find it in the second half and come back, or is it going to be USC versus Georgia in the final? Let's find out. It looks like it's going to be USC versus Georgia in the final because Oregon didn't even show up to play this game. They lose 34-11. So we will have one more final wheel spin to see who's going to be the away team in the final game. All this spin means is the winner of this spin is going to be the away team. So you do not want to win this spin. So let's spin it, and the away team is going to be Georgia. They will be headed to Southern California to take on the Trojans. This is what the final map is looking like. Who's going to take it all? Let's find out in this game right now. Here we go. The final game. It all comes down to this. USC, a team who hasn't lost a single game this whole time, coming up against Georgia Bulldogs, who lost their first game, but got the luck of the draw on the Redemption Island wheel and came back and brought it all the way to the championship. Can they get their redemption by winning it all, or is USC going to continue their dominance? Let's find out. After one quarter, USC leads by a touchdown. At the half, Georgia still hasn't scored. USC adds a field goal to their lead. They now lead by 10. We are now heading in to the final quarter, and Georgia still hasn't found the end zone. They trail by 2 touchdowns, 17-3, and USC has the ball. It's not looking good for the Bulldogs. The Trojans might come out on top. Let's find out. It's all coming down to an onside kick. Georgia trails by 3, 20-17. They need this onside kick, but USC, just like earlier in the video, recovers the onside kick, and USC is going to be your champions, taking down the Georgia Bulldogs. USC doesn't care that there was Redemption Island. They didn't visit it at all. I hope you guys did enjoy the little Redemption Island twist to the college football imperialism. I seen somebody do it on Madden, so I thought we'd throw it in NCAA, see what happens. USC comes out on top. Like, subscribe. We are on our way to 3,000 subscribers. Peace.